Hey guys, my name is Casey. I'm a 29-year-old formerly incarcerated trans woman who recently moved to the South, and I quit my job. Grab your iced coffee, sit the fuck down, and let's talk about it. I got out of prison in 2020. Since then, I've done some things, okay? I've done some things. I owned a salon. I have a degree. I worked in politics, but nothing could have prepared me for this backwoods ass party store that I got my silly ass dragged into. It all started one beautiful day. My phone rings. I answer it. It's a recruiter. He saw my resume on Glassdoor. He said, "Hey, I have this store. They're looking for an assistant sales manager, and you're the girl for the job." They offered me a strangely large salary for this type of position. I was in there. Day one, I walk in and shit hits the fan, okay? Literally, everybody that works in that store, 70 to 80-year-old woman, we have some little lady standing behind the counter with a fucking Make America Great Again hat. I was shook. Never in my life have I hidden my transness or tried to tone myself down. I've always been a professional. I understand that there needs to be a certain level of professionalism, but I'm also myself. This was the only job that I've ever had where I was truly scared for them to find out that I was trans, because I felt like I just would not have a job anymore. They instantly hated everything about me. They hated my tattoos. They hated my nose ring. They hated my clothes. They hated everything. I go back to do my paperwork. I am reading through the handbook, and I just start to notice that their look policy, as they called it, was crazy. It was crazy outdated. It probably was written in the 90s, honestly. And the manager who I was going to be assisting could tell that I was just not feeling it. So she told me, I had a conversation with the owner. We're going to sit down and we're going to change the look policy. We're going to change the handbook. We think that you have a lot of fresh ideas. You're an artist, and we know that you can bring good changes. I said, okay, cool. The next day, we have this meeting with the owner. She starts calling my nose ring a bull ring. She's talking about how girls who have tattoos on their faces have ruined the way that they looked. Very uncomfortable, but I was seeing dollar signs in my head. Big salary, big salary, big salary. I just spoke my piece and kept going. As the days went on, I was starting to notice that I had absolutely no managerial task. I had no responsibilities. I was being put on the schedule as a cashier, and I was not feeling it. So I was really interested in the balloon art that they were offering. I started watching some TikTok videos, some YouTube videos. The second, third day, I was just making these beautiful art installments just overnight. I was really, really good at it. And there was a huge increase in sales within 2 months. I was selling $4,000 to $5,000 a month in balloon art. That is where I went wrong, I think. I was consistently just being scheduled as a cashier, making balloon art. Never once did I make a schedule, get any kind of training. I was not giving coaching sessions. I was not dealing with mad customers. I was not training employees. I was literally just miserable. Well, because I'm working with a bunch of backwoods, crazy bitches, obviously none of them are vaccinated. Little old lady comes to work. She's like, oh my God, my husband has COVID. I'm thinking, like, why are you here if your husband has COVID? You're literally going to get everyone sick. Well, 2 days later, the manager is like, oh, I'm so sick. I'm so sick. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? No. I'm like, my mom lives with us. She's immunocompromised. My husband works a full-time job. I'm trying to work a full-time job. None of us can afford to get sick. I literally can't get sick. Guess what? Me, who has had every booster, every vaccine, I get COVID. And whenever I got the COVID, I got it hard. I was so sick. The owner tells me you need to take 5 days off of work. I say, okay. So I take the time off of work. Day 4 rolls around. I'm being told that I need to come back to work. I hit them back and I say, I still feel really sick. I don't think that I should be back. And they're like, we need you. We have balloon orders. You're the only person that can make it. Just wear a mask. I did not want to lose my job. They're telling me this is the CDC recommendation. This is what they do in South Carolina. I said, okay, I'll wear the mask. I go to work. They have me scheduled for a 12-hour shift. And I said, I can't work 12 hours. I'm so sick. So they cut it down to 8 hours. They have me closing with this Bible thumping ass bitch. She has short-term memory loss. She doesn't know how to work the register. She's been there for a year. She doesn't know where anything is. She was literally telling people that we did not have latex balloons and they were right behind her. It was a horrible night. I happen to look up at the schedule. I see that they have changed the schedule without letting me know. And they have me working 12 hours for the next 6 days. I send a message to the owner and I say, hey, I cannot do 12 hours tomorrow. I have prior obligations. Nobody told me this was going to be happening. And I don't think I can do 12 hours 6 days in a row. She says, if you don't come in tomorrow, don't come back. I said, bet, bitch. I put my keys in the safe. And that was that. That is my story about the time that I worked in a backwoods ass party store in South Carolina and I quit my job. Hopefully the next one will be better.